Corey and Teresa, high school sweethearts, married young. They yearned for a simpler life far from the clamor of the city. They found it in South Dakota, a sprawling homestead miles from the nearest town. Corey, a man of the land, strong and capable. He tended to their crops and cared for their livestock. Teresa, with her gentle touch, managed their home. They found solace in the solitude, contentment in their hard work. Fall descended upon the prairie, painting the landscape in hues of gold and crimson. The air turned crisp, a harbinger of winter's approach. A sense of unease settled over the homestead. An unfamiliar chill permeated the air. Evenings were quiet, the silence broken only by the crackling fire and the distant howl of coyotes. Corey would sit on the porch, his gaze fixed on the horizon, as if sensing something amiss. One crisp October night, tragedy struck. Corey didn't return from the barn. Teresa, her heart pounding in her chest, went searching. A lantern cast long, eerie shadows. The barn door creaked open.
There he lay, in a pool of his own blood. His eyes, wide with fear, stared vacantly. No sign of a struggle, no footprints. Just an eerie silence that amplified the pounding in Teresa's ears.
The sheriff, a grizzled man named Jeb, arrived at the farm, his presence commanding attention. He examined the scene meticulously, his experienced eyes scanning every detail, every shadow, and every clue that might reveal the truth. A grim expression settled on his face as he pieced together the evidence.
Animal attack, he concluded with a heavy sigh. Coyotes.
But Teresa wasn't convinced. She had seen the chickens up close, and something about their behavior was off. Their beady eyes seemed to hold a secret, and the way they pecked at the ground was almost frantic, as if searching for something more than grain, something hidden beneath the surface. Their clucking, once a comforting sound in the quiet of the farm, now sent shivers down her spine, filling her with dread.
No, it can't be coyotes. It just can't be, she whispered, her voice trembling with fear and uncertainty.
Teresa's suspicion grew stronger, her unease deepening with every passing moment. She knew something was terribly wrong, and she was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Days turned into weeks. The memory of Corey haunted Teresa. Strange occurrences plagued the homestead. Tools went missing, doors creaked open and shut on their own. Feathers, appearing as if from nowhere, littered the porch.
What is happening here?
Teresa couldn't shake the feeling. She was being watched, judged. The chickens, with their unnerving stares, seemed to multiply. Their clucking grew louder, more insistent, more sinister.
It's like they're everywhere, always watching.
The sense of dread grew, wrapping around the homestead like a suffocating blanket. One night, Teresa woke to a chilling sound. It was unlike anything she had ever heard before, a soft, eerie noise that sent shivers down her spine. Whispers coming from just outside her window. They were faint, almost indistinguishable from the wind, but unmistakably there. She crept closer, her heart thudding against her ribs. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the air itself was thickening with dread. The wind rustled the leaves, creating a symphony of natural sounds. But the whispers persisted, weaving through the night air like a sinister melody.
Who's there? Teresa's voice trembled as she called out, her eyes darting around the room, searching for any sign of movement.
They seemed to be coming from the old oak tree. Its presence loomed large and menacing in the moonlight. Its branches, gnarled and twisted, cast eerie shadows in the moonlight. The shadows danced on the ground, creating an unsettling scene. As she watched, the whispers grew louder, resembling words, accusations. They seemed to be directed at her, filling her with a sense of impending doom.
What do you want from me? Teresa's voice was barely a whisper, her fear palpable.
The night air was thick with tension. the whispers weaving a web of fear around Teresa. She felt trapped, ensnared by the unseen forces that seemed to be closing in on her. The sheriff, skeptical at first, began to share Teresa's unease. He had seen many strange things in his career, but nothing quite like this. The air around the homestead felt heavy, almost suffocating, as if it held secrets too dark to reveal. The whispers, the feathers, the chicken's relentless gaze. It was as if the very animals sensed the unease that permeated the air. Every rustle of feathers, every cluck seemed to carry a message, a warning that something was terribly wrong. It was as if the homestead itself had turned against them. The once vibrant farm now stood as a ghostly reminder of better days, its broken windows and overgrown yard telling a story of neglect and despair. But there was no evidence, no explanation. The case file remained thin, filled with unanswered questions and dead ends. The community was left in a state of perpetual unease, haunted by the unknown.
There's gotta be something we're missing. Every search, every clue, seemed to lead nowhere. The frustration grew as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months.
Corey's murder remained unsolved. A mystery that clung to the homestead like the autumn fog. The fog would roll in, thick and impenetrable, much like the mystery itself, obscuring the truth and leaving only shadows in its wake. Teresa eventually left, unable to bear the chilling reminders of that fateful night. She packed her bags, her heart heavy with sorrow, and looked back one last time at the house that had once been her home.
But the whispers remain. They echoed through the fields, carried by the wind, a constant reminder of the unresolved tragedy.
A haunting reminder of the darkness that resides in the Heartland. The house stood as a silent sentinel, guarding its secrets, its walls echoing with the memories of what once was.
A darkness that never truly fades away. It lingers just out of sight, waiting for the right moment to resurface.
The story of Corey and Teresa, forever etched in the eerie silence of the prairie. Their tale, a somber reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden in the Heartland, waiting to be uncovered.